The Hippocrates drifted silently through the Kepler 442 system, her hull gleaming white with the universal symbol of medical neutrality painted across her sides. Commander Sarah Chen stood on the bridge watching the massive refugee convoy ahead. Thousands of ships carrying civilians fleeing the Zephyrian war zone. For 3 weeks, her medical vessel had provided aid to anyone who needed it, regardless of species or allegiance. "Commander," Lieutenant Torres called from the communication station, "we're receiving a transmission from an Imperial dreadnought. They're demanding we stand down and prepare for boarding." Chen's jaw tightened. The Galactic Empire had been expanding aggressively for decades, but they had always respected medical neutrality. Put them through. The holographic display flickered to life, revealing Admiral Vexitar, his reptilian features twisted with contempt. "Human vessel, you are harboring enemies of the Empire. Surrender the Zephyrian refugees immediately. Admiral, this is a medical ship operating under galactic law. We provide aid to all beings regardless of—" "Your pathetic human laws mean nothing here," Vexitar hissed. "You have 30 seconds to comply or we will take them by force." Chen's hands trembled with anger. The Hippocrates carried over 2,000 wounded refugees, including children. "We are a medical vessel. Our patients cannot be moved." "Then you will share their fate," the transmission cut out. Moments later, energy beams lanced through space, striking the Hippocrates' shields. The medical ship shuddered under the assault, her defensive systems, designed only to protect against debris, crumpling like paper. "All hands, brace for impact," Chen shouted as another volley tore through the hull. Emergency lights bathed the bridge in red as atmosphere vented into space. In the medical bays below, screams echoed through the corridors. "Emergency beacon is active," Torres reported, blood streaming from a gash on her forehead. "Distress signal transmitted on all frequencies." The Imperial dreadnought moved closer, its massive bulk blocking out the stars. Chen closed her eyes, thinking of the innocent lives in her care. Humanity had joined the galactic community as peacekeepers and healers, not warriors. They had no military fleet to call upon, no grand armada to— A new alarm pierced the bridge. Torres stared at her console in disbelief. "Commander, I'm reading massive energy signatures approaching from the Sol system. Multiple contacts moving at impossible speeds." Light began to bend and twist in the space around them. Reality itself seemed to ripple as ancient mechanisms dormant for centuries awakened from their slumber. The first ship materialized like a nightmare made manifest, a kilometer-long wedge of midnight black metal, its surface crawling with patterns that hurt to look at directly. Then came the second, and the third. Within minutes, 13 vessels had translated into normal space, their very presence making the fabric of reality shiver. These were not the clean, sterile ships of the modern galactic community. These were weapons of war from an older, darker time, humanity's hidden arsenal from the days before they had chosen the path of peace. Admiral Vexitar's confident sneer faltered as his sensors registered the new arrivals. "What are those ships?" "They're not in any Imperial database, sir," his tactical officer stammered. They're human designs. But the technology, it's unlike anything we've encountered. The energy readings are off the charts." The lead battleship, ancient and terrible, opened a communication channel. The voice that emerged was cold as the void between stars. "This is Admiral Marcus Kane of the Terran Defense Force. You have attacked a medical vessel flying under the protection of Earth. Stand down immediately and prepare to face judgment." Vexitar's confusion turned to rage. "Impossible. Humans are pacifists, healers and merchants. You have no military." Kane's laugh was like grinding metal. "We chose peace, Admiral. That doesn't mean we forgot how to wage war. These ships have been waiting, watching, sleeping in the dark between the stars for over 300 years. But you made a very grave mistake today," the Imperial Admiral sneered, his confidence returning. 13 ancient ships against my battle fleet. I have 200 vessels. Then let me educate you about human history, Admiral. These 13 ships once held the line against the Void Hunters when they emerged from dark space. Each one has more firepower than your entire fleet. They are crewed by the ghosts of warriors who died defending this galaxy from horrors you cannot imagine. The first battleship, the TFDS Retribution, powered up weapons that had been silent for centuries. Space around it began to distort as exotic matter cannons charged with energies that made stars seem dim. Last chance, Admiral. Withdraw now or learn why humanity built these ships to guard against nightmares. Vextar's reptilian features contorted with fury. All ships attack formation! Destroy these relics! The Imperial fleet opened fire, their energy beams striking the ancient battleship's shields. The attacks dissipated harmlessly against barriers that had been designed to withstand the full fury of cosmic horrors. In response, the Retribution fired a single shot. The beam that emerged wasn't just light, it was compressed space-time itself, a weapon that rewrote the laws of physics in its path. It struck the Imperial dreadnought dead center, and the massive warship simply ceased to exist. No explosion, no debris field, just empty space where, moments before, there had been a ship, carrying 10,000 souls. The rest of the Imperial fleet scattered in terror as the remaining 12 battleships began their advance. Weapons that had once carved through the hulls of beings from beyond the galactic rim now turned their fury on the forces that dared harm those under humanity's protection. Within an hour, the Imperial fleet was gone, those that couldn't escape destroyed utterly, those that could fleeing back to their territory with tales of humanity's hidden guardians. Commander, Chen watched in stunned silence as the ancient battleships formed a protective perimeter around the medical convoy. The lead ship's communication came through again, Kane's voice now gentle. Medical vessel Hippocrates, this is Admiral Kane. Are you in need of assistance? We have wounded aboard, Chen managed. Multiple hull breaches, casualties in the medical bays. Understood. We're dispatching repair teams and medical support. No one else will harm those under your care. As the ancient ships began their work, Chen realized that humanity's greatest strength wasn't their compassion or their drive to heal. It was their absolute, uncompromising dedication to protecting those who could not protect themselves. They had chosen to be healers, but when someone threatened their patients, they would become something far more terrible. The galaxy would remember this day. They would remember that humanity's mercy had limits, and beyond those limits waited nightmares older than empires, sleeping guardians who would wake whenever innocence was threatened. In the depths of space, 12 more battleships continued their eternal patrol, waiting for the next fool who would mistake humanity's kindness for weakness.